So I had a really wonderful conversation with Mr. Paul Taylor from Australia, and it will be posted on his podcast, Mind Body podcast, in a few days. I really loved talking with Paul, and I do hope that we'll be, repeating this wonderful conversation soon. But anyway, in that, we mainly discussed my book, The Little Book of Ikigai, and but Paul kindly, referred to my next book, The Way of Nagomi. And while we were discussing the principle of Nagomi, this Japanese ancient wisdom of striking a balance between seemingly incompatible elements, Paul actually referred to a really wonderful episode in his own life, and I was deeply, deeply moved. So I do hope that you would listen to Paul's podcast when it comes out. But I really learned a wonderful lesson from this conversation with Paul Taylor, which is, the way of Nagomi is in each of us. Of course, if you look at the world today, there is this war between Russia and Ukraine. From the point of view of Ukraine, on President Zelensky, it was an unwanted war. And from the point of Russia, President Putin, he probably believes, although it might be an illusion, that he has a righteous cause. But of course, even if you have reason to oppose your neighbor, you should never enforce your view by power and brutal force. And I do hope that Mr. Putin would, come back to the way of Nagomi and stop fighting in Ukraine. But anyway, having said that, so the way of Nagomi can be applied to really serious situations in the world. But at the same time, it is something that is private. That's something that would come to your help every day of your life. I always try to strike a balance between, different opposing, sometimes incompatible requirements of my life. I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to, listen to this person, I need to listen to my inner voice, I need to be behaving like a grown up, and I need to keep my inner child alive. All these different requirements, different voices that comes within me and comes from without me. These are, every one of them is important. So to live is to strike a balance between these different elements. And that is true for the situations concerning Russia and Ukraine. But also it is true on the more private level, in the everyday life of my life. And I am always thinking about that. And that's why I wrote this book, The Way of Nagomi, which would come in April. But at the same time, I learned that it's in everybody's lives. I learned that there was a really wonderful wisdom in Paul Taylor's life, and I was deeply affected by listening to his episode. But for all of you who are listening to this video, I think there would be at least one or two episodes in your life where this spirit of Nagomi, this balance, harmony, coexistence of diverse elements within you and in the people around you has helped your life in a substantial way. If you look back on your life, please do look back on your life, and please do find some cases where the way of Nagomi has actually helped you get along and go through difficult times. Then probably the way of Nagomi will be within you. And if you are interested, please do take a look at my book when it comes out. So that's a kind of a reflection on my conversation with Paul Taylor, a really wonderful guy who is based in Melbourne, I think, Australia. A really fascinating country which I would like to visit again once all this trouble is over. And I do hope that this conundrum that we are all in will be over, with a little help from the way of Nagomi.